Okay, so this is a response to some of the comments left by the race realists on my previous video. So, my little study was criticised in a way rightly so, but I'll just explain a few things. So it's very difficult to determine for a fact which are sock accounts and which are not, but sock accounts generally have fewer subs and video views. So one way we can determine whether or not a channel is using sock accounts or not is take a sample and then get an average from that sample. So we come up with a hypothesis, come up with a method to test the claim, collect the data, and form a conclusion. The method did not make claim to any specific account, it just shows strong indication as to whether or not someone uses sock accounts. This method is very similar to the methods used when testing pharmaceuticals. Take two groups with condition Y, give one group drug X and the other one leave as a control group. Test their symptoms, and if the group given drug X is better off than the control, then you can say that that trial was successful and the drug actually had a positive effect. Very simple stuff here. Okay, so let's deal with some of the criticism then. The reason I took a very small sample size is because at the time, that was all the data which was available. Yes, 14 data points isn't enough to form a formal conclusion, and I said as much in my video, but it was still consistent with the claim that LibertarianRealist was using sock accounts. I also openly invited people to do their own test, and funnily enough, nobody took me up on the offer. So I've actually extended this now, carried on with the same methodology as before, and I'll show the results later in this video. Now, one of the other criticisms was that the sample size wasn't random. Now, I can't believe I actually have to explain this, but there's actually a good reason why I chose the sample sequentially rather than randomly. Let me demonstrate. Okay, so I've got 30 coins here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 6 is 30. I'm sure we can all agree on that, and hopefully we can all agree that a coin has a 50% chance of landing either heads or tails. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw all these 30 coins, and then I'm going to take a random sample from them. Okay, so plonk them all down on the table, mix them up, get them all off of each other. Now, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take 15 of them and leave a random sample. Seven. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so I'm left now with a random sample of 15. These are the 15 random ones I've chosen, and amazingly, staggeringly, they're all heads. That's a 1 in 16,000 chance. Now, obviously, you can see exactly what I did there. I removed all of the tails, my sample, and I chose all of the heads. My sample was not random whatsoever. And now, if I did that on the video, if I chose a random sample, this is exactly what I'd end up getting accused of. Now let's try the sequential method, which I used on the video. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. One fell off, so I'll chuck another one. And let's count them up. So 4, 6, 8, 9 tails and 6 heads, which is pretty much what you'd expect from a random sample. It's not a particularly unusual throw there, and this is what I did. I did it sequentially on the video because, that will give us a fairly, that should give you a fairly representative sample. So of course, using that method, I could still produce a very biased sample, either through sheer chance with the small numbers which I used, or by faking it by just looking for absolutely days on end until I found a sample which came up with the conclusion I wanted, but like I said, that would end up taking absolutely days to do that. Darren Brown did it with coins. He threw 10 coins in a row by filming himself for 9 hours straight until he got the result he wanted. Of course, I could have used a random method and proved that that the method I was using was truly random, but that would have taken absolutely hours as well, so I decided to use the simplest method I could, which was least likely to get me accused of showing any bias.
This one is statistically meaningful. Unless you can come up with your own study which counters this, then I think I've actually got quite a strong case now. So for EvoGen, we're averaging 802 subscribers and 122,297 video views per commenter, and 69 subs and 15,617 video views per commenter on Libertarian Realist videos. That's 8.6 and 12.8% respectively there. Massive difference. However, people did point out that there are a disproportionate amount of large channels who comment on EvoGen's videos. So, looking at the bottom 50%, we see 10.4 subscribers for EvoGen and 2.5 subscribers for Libertarian Realist. That's under a quarter. For video views, we have 1,293.9 and 1,072.5 respectively. That's 82%. However, without valid seniorette, if we take her out of the equation, then we only get an average of 33 views per video, and that's about 3% of what EvoGen's getting. So there is a huge difference there. For EvoGen's commenters, there are only 6 with 0 video views in the bottom 50%. For Libertarian Realist, there was 16. So again, there is a massive difference there, and I think that needs explaining. Okay, so since you seem to be 100% certain that the difference in IQ scores between people of different ethnic origins is primarily genetic, I'm guessing you must have some Einstein level of insight as to why your channel commenters have so few subs and views. There's a few possible explanations I can come up with, but none of them particularly reflect highly on you. It's been suggested that lots of these channels are people's second accounts because they don't want this stuff associated with their main channels. They don't want their videos getting back to people they know and losing their jobs and that kind of thing. Well, it is possible to do text to voice videos, or just text, hide your face, mask your voice, that kind of thing. So are your subscribers just a bunch of retards who don't know how to do video editing? Or are they just a bunch of pussies who can't defend their viewpoints? People have been saying, oh, well, you don't do controversial content, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I do a lot of fucking controversial content, thank you very much. Someone saying that I don't dare do video replies to people like Coughlin. If I had a strong enough disagreement, you bet your fucking ass I'd do a video response to him. But I've done video responses to Zinnia Jones, the Young Turks, Onision, 3 pretty huge channels. I didn't get massive down thumbing when I did those videos, and my subscriber ratio to their subscriber ratio is a lot higher than the difference between yours and EvoGen. So nope, sorry, that one doesn't really stand up either. Jim Rask on your video seemed to think that someone was actually vote botting, so his comment, on second thoughts, I think somebody actually is using a vote bot on his video. Whoever it is, please stop, it's not helping. His video will still be just as crap whether it has 10 dislikes or 100. So there's another person who disagrees. I am aware that his video ended up getting linked to 4chan, and that could have produced the pattern we saw, but I still think that it's generally a fair conclusion to assume that your video was vote botted when you see a massive amount of down thumbs arriving in such a short period of time when usually you don't get them. So finally I'm going to reply to 2 comments. First one was LibertarianRealist. Your use of statistics shows conclusively that you put together this video confusedly. Actual number of accounts I control, 2. This one, and Indomitable Realist. Now why don't you run some numbers on a question that would actually reveal interesting information about our respective subscriber bases? What percentage of EvoGen subscribers correctly recognised that he had been misapplying the concept of heritability before he finally admitted it, and what percentage of mine did? Okay, well, first off, his definition of heritability was a hell of a lot better than yours. I'm not going to be debating that with you because he's explained it numerous fucking times, as with other people, and if you're not going to fucking get it when they say it, then you're not going to get it when I say it either, so I'd just be wasting my time. But let's suppose that point was valid. Well, people are a lot more likely to call people out when it's someone they disagree with than when it's someone that they don't agree with. For example, some of your subscribers came to my video and commented about how crap my intro was. They're not going to comment on your video if you had an intro. I can't remember if you do or not, but if you had an intro, they're not going to come along and say your intro's crap when they support you, And you're picking apart his definition really was nitpicking. His definition was a hell of a lot better than yours. Okay, next comment I'm going to reply to is, make a video where you debunk Coughlin. Leave it as a response to one of his videos and see if you get similar results. Tell me, does it change anything if LibertarianRealist has sock counts, or is this all about distracting people from the fact that EvoGen has little idea of what he is talking about and was caught up in his false sense of security? Well, I have made very controversial videos in response to much bigger channels than mine before, and I didn't get what EvoGen got there. I've done responses to the Young Turks, to Zinnia Jones, to Onision, very, very critical videos, and I didn't get massive influx of down-thumbing like EvoGen did, and my subscriber count, their subscriber counts there's a much bigger difference than there is between LibertarianRealist and EvoGen. So again, that's not really very valid, and yeah, it does kind of make a difference if it does kind of make a difference if Libertarian Realist is using sock accounts, because then it looks like there's a lot more people who agree with him than there actually are, and it looks like there's a lot more people who disagree with Evogen than there actually are. So yeah, it does make a pretty big difference. And yeah, as I said, I may be wrong about the sock accounts thing. It seems that is a possibility, but none of the other options seem to really reflect very highly on you. So either your subscribers are a bunch of cowards, they're too retarded to actually make videos, or maybe they're all just really shit and don't get many views. No, it just doesn't really reflect very well on you either way. So everyone else, thanks for watching, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.